Hello, this video is about design patterns in JavaScript. In the gang of 4 book there were 23 design patterns, and this video is about all these design patterns. These were said to be patterns in object-oriented programming, but really I don't see how any of these patterns cannot be implemented in a language that is not object-oriented, such as C. Their structure have to be provided in the arguments of the function, but still in a way or another all these design patterns can be implemented in C. And more than that, these are very general design patterns, and here after every pattern I wrote example from the real world. These patterns can occur in biology or human society or in many ways in the real world. So they are very general patterns. What concerns the names, then the terms in programming are often confusing. They are often too general, or when they really mean only some very particular thing, or they are even wrong, like the breach pattern here, that has really nothing to do with the breach. So when you look at these design patterns, look at what they are really about. Don't look at their names. So this is the abstract factory design pattern. Here two classes are inherited from the base class, and we create here then objects from both of these classes, and we can use them in the same way. We can call the same functions from these objects. So the other very similar design pattern is the factory method. It is here. And it is almost the same, except that here we decide by a certain argument of the function, we decide what class to use to make the object. This is good in that here we only in one place use these if statements and conditional statements, and once we select the proper types of objects, then later in the code when we use these objects, we will not have to every time use the conditional statements. We just use the objects and use all these objects in the same way as here. So here is the builder pattern. This is just a way how to make something one thing at a time. We see we here have just something basic, and then we add all these things separately, and we do it in a chain, as you see here. We create a hamburger, then add mayonnaise, then add patty, then add tomato. We can do that because we return the object itself from these functions. So then the next one is prototype. The prototype is just about creating some kind of object based on another object. This object keyword enables that. So this is how we can always initially get some object with some fields already in a way filled, some initial object, and we can easily create it that way. So the next is the singleton pattern. There are different ways how the singleton pattern is used. The main important in C++ was that in C++ the objects are initialized only in the beginning of the scope. But there is often a problem that we need to initialize some data when we do, for example, setup, and after that we should use them like constants. So in C++ it was important that not to create this object twice. Here nothing really prevents creating another instance of this object, but once we create this object singleton, then we no more can change the data there because of this private variable instance here, and we can no more change it, so this singleton is like a constant and remains constant. This is how we can really use for some practical purposes in JavaScript. So the next pattern is adapter. This is just we have a certain class that does in a certain way things, and we just have to make a new class using this object of this class inside it, and using it and doing it in some other way that fits with our software and something like this. So this is really like an adapter. So the next is the bridge. A bridge is really like an adapter for something abstract. So there can be several adapters for that abstract class. We see here this is kind of base class, an abstract class, and we extend it in different ways, and then use it. So the basic idea is to extend something abstract. Then the next is composite. Composite is like a tree-like structure, and the key there is that all these branches of the tree can be handled in the same way. So we cannot branches, and these branches can likewise add other branches, and finally we have so-called leaf. The file is the leaf that cannot be further extended. So as an example, here is implemented the file structure as composite pattern. So the next is the decorator. It is just about adding things. Here we have a person, and we add certain properties to it. Here we use that object person as an argument when creating the object. Here, and then add certain properties and change this function. So the next is the facade. it is often that we need to do certain rather complex things in some simple way, and here we see that we use just two methods, turn on and turn off, and with doing that we really turn on and turn off several different devices. So the next is the fly weight. Here it is many small and similar objects as you see here. And they can all be handled in the same way. And here are the intrinsic properties, are these properties that when we create this flyweight, then we provide these are always inside these objects, and extrinsic are that we are the operations that we do with these. So we can either change them or do some operations with them, like add, remove, or move, or whatever else. So the next is proxy. Proxy is really like adapter, but it is more specific adapter that is often used to hide something. We didn't copy that. Hope that it will succeed this time. So as we see here, we have this method like get that we can apply to all these objects. There is a method called handler that is use to provide all this information that we need. Okay, the next is chain of responsibility. This is there are several objects, and when a certain event occurs, I didn't copy. When a certain event occurs, then only these objects that deal with that thing, then they change things. You see, we see here there is a certain sequence how we can change the things. We see that every time we do this get, then we first calculate like how many we do this with a certain bill, of certain amount. First calculate whether how many of these bills go into this sum, and when none goes, then we do nothing. So we only apply this method here when it needs to be applied. It is appropriate for that amount, or for that data. When it isn't, we do nothing. So the next is command. Command is that we use a certain object as to do things. As you see here, we have this base class command, and then we extend it in different ways, creating different commands. Like on and off are here commands, and so when we do here set on, then this on here is really an object, and off here is also an object that do certain things, and in this case they switch on the power and switch off the power. So the next is interpreter. That is really more like a translator we see here this is a translation of the Roman numbers to Arabic numbers. The matter is that we have to go through this sequence here, and every time we look at whether there is certain sequence in the beginning of it, and these sequences correspond to certain numbers that then can be added to this final number. So this is how we convert the Roman numbers to Arabic numbers, but then this is really the matter is to go through this sequence. So the next is the iterator. The iterator is really one thing is how iterator in general is, but important is to implement iterator so that it can be used in a certain language. So here is how to implement it in JavaScript so that we can use this function range as an iterator. It is really a specific implementation, but important here is the function next that provides two things: the next value and whether we finished this iteration or not. So the next is mediator. Here as the example of mediator is like an implementation of a chat room. Here it is. Users can join room and leave room, and can post messages, and task of this mediator, the chat room, is to do so that it sends the messages to all the users that are in this channel at any particular time. So the next is memento. It is just to remember something so that we can restore it later if we want. This is often used for this undo operation in different applications. We see we have this history here, and we push it. We can push the state, and then we can pop the state. Then the content becomes back to how it was when it was pushed. So we see we set there the change text, but after we pop the state, then we really get back the first text. So the next is observer. This is it didn't change. This is about events and there are a number of observers that are this is the observers, this kind of queue, and there are a number of observers that at the current time observe this events, and when the event occurs, then these observers are called, and they then do certain operation that they need to do to handle the event or for whatever else purpose. So the next is the state. It is just that everything has a state at any particular time, and we see how here is general base class for state, and we can extend it to different kind of state, and then use these states and change these states. So then the next is strategy. It is also a misleading name. It is really not much to do about strategy. It is about using different objects to different methods to process the same thing, like we suggested the strategy to Walmart. This is really an object here. It does a certain calculation. Here is a calculation is not shown, but it may calculate this price somehow, and so this other object, and we use that as an argument, and then we get this calculation results from these objects. So the next is the template. That is also not about really template. But it is about the sequence of doing things. We see this sequence is defined here, and this kind of basic or abstract functions are here. And then when we do something concrete with them, then we add this some particular methods here to do some particular thing. And so then call this method make that comes from this base class, and we then do all these things in this sequence. So the next is the and the last is the visitor, and the visitor it is about here it is about two things that are done, some parts, and two things that on to them, testing and mounting. And here is the array of the parts, and we have there we have this in these parts. We can then accept this visitor, that is another object, and there is this visitors are then testing and mounting, and we use these two visitors for all the parts, or we of course we can only use them for these that where they need to be used, but in general we use it for the sequence of for a number of elements here. So this is all about design patterns. I hope it was useful for you. Here, if you write this web addresses from here, then as long as they stay in this one compiler, then you can also see them, and you can access the code directly. So I hope this video was useful for you. So thank you for watching, and see you.